Hi Lana, welcome once again to Lana's Coach. So I've received quite a number of plea, especially from my students, regarding how to come up with a formal letter. So maybe just to help you out, for those of us who want to maybe apply for some kind of internship, or you want to apply for some kind of attachment, it's very, very important that you follow this kind of structure when you are coming up with your formal letter. Maybe later on also I'll maybe take you through step-by-step way of how you can be able to write this particular letter. But for today, I want us just to look at the structure, right? Ensure that you follow this structure so that you at least can be able to secure that particular attachment, or rather you can be able to secure that particular internship or job. So as you can see, a formal letter actually is always written to maybe communicate something within an organization. A formal letter can be written maybe from the management to you as a staff, or you can also write a formal letter from a staff to senior management. So we have different kind of official letter. We normally refer to them as official letters. You can write a complaint letter, you can do some kind of application letter, you can even write a memo. These are official letter or formal letters. So regardless of which letter you are writing, ensure that these 10 parts are actually featuring on those particular letter. So ideally, with respect to maybe a particular formal letter, you can always share the sender's address. That should be the first one. We should actually also have some reference as the second. I'll have the date, very, very important. And of course, it should have some kind of receiver's address. It should have some salutation. Also, it should have some subject or heading. Of course, it need to have a complimentary clause. Signature is very, very important in a formal letter, and of course, the name of the sender. So the last part is the designation, right? So let us understand the 10, maybe in some kind of step-by-step manner. So I'll start by looking at sender's address, and kindly take note of this particular arrangement so that you follow it in a step-by-step manner. So as you can see, the first actually step is to have the sender's address, right? So the sender's address should actually include the name of the organization, right? That is, for example, if you're writing a complaint letter. And for those of us who are writing an application letter, you might always omit, right? And maybe start from the PO box. So actually, I'll also show you how to write an application letter step by step. I'm actually looking at the structure of all formal letters. So this could be application letter, it could be a complaint letter, and of course it could be even an order letter. So ensure that you have the name of the organization, including the address, that is the PO box, right? State the of course you can state the town, right? Normally it's not really restricted, but it's a good thing to observe that you should always start the name of the organization with a capital letter. So mine here, I've violated that, so ensure that you have a capital J here. And for the name of the town, it's always good to have it in uppercase, all of it, like here in Nairobi, right? You can also include your email address and telephone numbers, especially for those of us who are coming up with an application letter, right? So this actually provides some kind of authenticity, and can always be maybe attached to some kind of a person who has drafted this particular letter. And if someone wants to give feedback, they can always give feedback based on this particular sender's address. So that's the first part. The second one is reference, right? Now, normally written as ref in most cases, right? Now, in a formal letter, reference is actually maybe refers to how you file, or in reference to a particular previous document, right? So normally you capture maybe the department where this particular letter originated from. So if it was from engineering or from HR, you can also capture the date and maybe the folder, right? where you place this. So it's always important to refer. For example, if you are replying, or if your formal letter is based on a particular correspondence, right? So it's very, very important to do the reference. So kindly note that. So the third is date. Date is very important, right? So this one can always be also referred to, maybe in terms of dispute. So they are going to maybe ask for the date when this particular letter was drafted, or rather written. So date is very, very important. So capture the date. Now, date should be written in full. Yeah, I'll show you exactly how to create a formal letter in our next video, and how to write a date in full. So I just want to actually dwell on the structure. The other one is after the date is actually to have the receiver's address just beneath the date, right? So you should actually indicate the destination, person whom you are sending this particular or addressing this particular letter to. So it should capture, for example, the title. For example, if you are applying for a letter, ensure that you maybe capture the title, the HR, the name of the organization, and the address and the town where this particular maybe receiver is, right? And of course, you can also include attention keyword, so that you attract the attention of the reader. And if you are writing this letter to pass through someone, you can use a through notation, yeah? Especially if one is sent through one supervisor, right? So it's very, very important to capture this when you're addressing a formal letter. The fifth one is the salutation. A salutation always captures some kind of etiquette or courtesy. So ensure that you adhere to this particular salutation. So kindly address the sender, or rather, sorry, the receiver, as dear sir or dear madam. Don't use dear sir stroke madam. That is not really preferred nowadays. It's very, very important to know exactly who you are actually sending this particular letter to. So technology can always help you understand the recipient of this particular letter, right? Now, you can also use other ways of personalization. You can use dear Mr., dear Mrs., and so on. So ensure that you use the correct salutation. That's the bottom line. And remember, you are going to use I'm going to show you how you can maybe attend, or rather reply to the dear sir, or when you're coming up with some kind of complimentary clause. When you're using dear sir, dear madam, you have to use the right complimentary clause. The other one is subject heading, right? So most people normally use the reference, which is no longer actually used. Go straight to the point. If it is an application letter, just start by saying application for the position of this and this. Don't start by writing re and then is when you write. So it's important that your subject heading is very concise, of course short and clear, right? So that the reader can always know exactly what this particular letter is all about. Then here is what I was talking about. So complementary clause is the seventh part of the formal letter. So when you addressed this particular letter through the salutation of dear sir or dear madam, you should complement it by using yours faithfully. That is what is supposed to be done, right? And if you used other salutation like dear doctor, dear Mr., dear Miss, dear sir, all these needs to be to have some complementary clause that ends with yours sincerely. So I believe now you get the difference on how to use yours faithfully, complementary clause, and also when to use yours sincerely, complementary clause. It's a very important observation in any formal letter. As I mentioned, you have to append your official signature, right? So after you have maybe written your letter, you're satisfied with the content of it, ensure that you append your signature. So signature is a kind of authority. It actually says that you're the person who wrote this particular letter. And after that, just indicate your name, right? After your signature, just write your name below the signature to maybe ascertain the person who sent this particular letter. And of course, it's very important that you write your name in full, right? Avoid using short names, right? Because this one is not going to make the letter authentic. Now, the 10th part of the letter, the final part, is designation. Who are you in that particular office? So you have to state if you're the managing director, if you're the principal. So you have to write your designation. And if you're doing it on behalf of someone, ensure that you include the word for, right? So those are the 10 parts of the official letter. Now, we also have other parts of a formal letter. This could be enclosure, especially maybe if you're writing an application letter and you want to attach your CV, you want to attach your other academic records, we can always use enclosure, which is normally abbreviated as ENC. Like example here, this is a check that is attached. You can also carbon copy someone. Carbon copy is very, very important, right? If you want someone or another person to maybe take some action, right? So they can always be copied. Blind carbon copy, this one actually means BCC, is a copy that is sent to another party without the original receiver knowing that such a copy has been sent to a third party. Especially when you're writing a formal letter through email, these are very, very essential, right? So you can always include them. Now, as we conclude, this is how a fully blocked letter is organized. As you can see, the 10 parts that I've mentioned are actually captured here. So you start with the sender's address, ensure that the date is written in full. I had shown you, and of course have some reference, have the receiver's address or the insider's address, and of course have some salutation, subject heading, have some complimentary clause here, signature, your name, and designation. So there's a spelling error there. So ensure that also you check your formal letter on these particular errors, such as grammar errors and mistakes, so that you rectify them. So these are the 10 parts of a formal letter. So in our subsequent video, I'm going to now show you how to write a formal letter so that we put some meat on it, so that you really understand how to write one. So if you feel or find that this particular video is of use or meaningful, kindly hit on that like button, and of course don't forget to subscribe. All right, thanks.